furniture, the chairs on the common. And I agree with Ben's comment of the April 20th about the higher chairs. And thinking also too, to make it accessible for all, also the wider chairs, might be comfortable too.
So sort of a selection of chairs.
Yeah, otherwise you're gonna, with the Adirondack chairs,
Can't get out of them.
yeah, you're gonna have to double the size of the, the Basquat. So, like, okay.
Okay.
And also color choices, I know it might be a small thing, but just kind of, ask around what might be.
They suggested it would be sort of muted colors, it would be a
Brown
brown
or
or
forest
green
green.
or a gray, I believe.
Gray, yeah.
I have it here.
Okay.
Neutrals such as forest green, charcoal gray, or brown.
Okay.
And I was going to suggest when we get to it that we might have two of each color. Could be fun. All right, thank you, Linda.
I look forward to sitting in the sun, especially, the 93-year-old woman who kind of, this kind of brought everything forward and, sharing the sun and the community connection. So, thank you.
Good,
Could
good.
you, I think Earl wanted to put a bench out there.
Yeah, if there is, we can get to that when we get to the topic later, but if there is someone who wants to do a bench, they should probably contact Dina.
Yeah.
And otherwise, we're gonna have, the lawnmowers won't be able to mow the lawn. It'll be like an agility course.
There's already benches out there.
There are a couple, yep. They're kind of long-standing benches, but, okay, thank you for that. Other public comments? James?
Yeah, I'm here to kind of give an update on what the electrical aggregation committee's doing. And one thing was, I think I need to get a key for this place, because we have been having meetings like 5:30 yesterday. Luckily, Jim Norris has a key, and maybe we could just share his key.
Yeah, we're getting a little twitchy about a lot of keys being
Okay,
out there.
why don't I work it out with Jim, since he's on the committee,
If you could do that, that would be good.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I just, had seen in the safety thing that the chairs were, we're gonna have keys, but we can work it.
Oh, yeah, and you're a chair of this
Yeah,
committee.
but
Well-
I understand the whole, too many keys is not a good thing, so I can just share with him.
Let us take that under consideration. We'll put you on after the other public comments, and then we'll go into letting you do an update. And
Oh,
then,
that's fine, okay.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
Rick?
Good morning.
Good
Yes, I
morning.
do have a couple comments. I want to second Lenore's encouragement for the furniture on the common. I think the benefit to the town vastly outweighs the inconvenience to the people mowing. So I don't want the mowing to be an inhibition to moving this forward.
Your comment is duly noted.
Thank
They
you,
would probably
yes.
disagree with you, but nonetheless, we will move on.
Fair enough.
Next.
Exactly, and I assume you're gonna be talking about the town committee handbook later on?
We are not, we have taken it off the agenda.
Ah, okay, good. And I know that you've received my comments, and
Yes,
so,
we got those yesterday.
all right, thank you.
Future reference,
Mhm.
we like to have things that are going to be coming in no later than around mid-afternoon on the Friday before the meeting, because we put things together on Monday and Tuesday.
Interesting, you put the packet together and then
And on a
gives you a chance to think about it.
Wednesday night,
Yep.
we don't even have a chance to act on it.
Okay.
So,
Good, thank you.
you're welcome. And we have someone on Zoom.
Jan.
Ms. Williams,
Good morning.
good morning.
I have a comment about the committee handbook as well, and it's really just a cautionary note. I think that the major change that you have made regards committee member use of email to discuss business that may be before that committee, may have been or may be in the future before that committee. And I just want to point out that the word discretion is awfully open to interpretation. So when you suggest that committee members use their discretion in whether to write about pertinent topics to the listserv, I think you're inviting potential trouble. If there were someone on a committee who firmly disagreed and didn't feel heard on that committee with something that was being decided, their definition of discretion might differ wildly from yours.
Okay,
And I think you need to be really careful about that. I think you need to determine a much more definable policy rather than such an open-ended one, if you are going to change this at all. And the other thing is just to make sure that any changes in accordance with what the New Hampshire Municipal Association considers best practices, because I would expect nothing less from our town.
thank you very much. We'll take that and add it to the hopper.
Thank you.
Mhm. Do we have anyone else?
That is all I'm seeing.
Excellent, so we will move on to regular business and James.
Great, thanks for.
Electrical Aggregation Committee update.
That's still a mouthful.
It is, I know. I think it's gonna be short-lived, because if we get what we hope to form a community power committee, that will be the name. By next year, if the town votes to agree to
Right.
community power, we can get rid of electrical aggregation and call it community power, so. Yeah, thanks for letting me give an update here. One thing that we changed is, originally I was going to be the representative to CPCNH, but we decided to have Hebe be the representative because she has more time available.
Okay,
And so that's something that the select board needs to approve, is my
Okay.
understanding. So if you want, I can actually send a message to have it.
I think from you to the board, a short email
Okay.
outlining the
Okay.
criteria and the reasons for the decision, and we can take an action on that
Okay.
at the next meeting.
All right, sounds good. And I just wanted to find out if David Perlman had been approved as a,
I'm not aware of that.
is that something that you may have?
We have one oath of office, but it's for the zoning board. I don't recall David Perlman.
I think I had,
Was it submitted 2 weeks ago?
yeah, it was submitted a while ago. I can follow up and make sure I sent that to Dina.
Let's see, where are minutes? It was, we did some oaths of office.
Could have been a couple of weeks past. Oh, right, because you meet every other
We
week.
meet every other week. Trying to see some. It's not ringing a bell, so we will need to follow up on that.
All right, I'll resubmit to Dina to make sure that that's.
Okay, so, yeah. Okay, and I will try and make a note to also run it by Dina and see what the status is.
Okay.
Where's
Okay.
Dean on vacation?
Dina is in a class,
In a class?
yeah. She missed it. My understanding is it's like the last 2 days of something she's been working on for 2 years. And last year, she missed it because of a board meeting, and she thought that she would like not to miss it again
Yeah.
this year. It'll be the never-ending project that she doesn't get to finish.
Okay, and then the only other thing I just have, that we're working on the electrical aggregation plan, which, we're planning on having a public hearing in June.
Oh, good.
So one of the things that statutorily, we need to have 2 public hearings before the town meeting.
Town meeting next March.
So, we'll probably have 3. We were thinking of having one in June, another in the fall, and another as a lead up to town meeting.
That's a really good idea.
just to.
And if you've had your 2 obligatory public hearings, you can just have a public meeting.
Okay,
Wouldn't
right,
have to be another hearing.
yeah, okay.
That's a great idea, because that's when people start to really focus.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Just wanted to keep you guys abreast of, what we're doing. Once we have the electrical aggregation plan a little further along, we've been provided with a kind of draft from CPCNH that we're going through. And once we feel like we're in a good spot, we'll make sure we share it with you, because.
That'd be good, and we'll share it with town council.
Yes, exactly.
So it's been interesting to see the articles in the newspaper.
Yeah, yeah, it's all the news now, all of a sudden, right?
And the sort of stalemate that seems to be being created.
Yeah, yeah, so I think it's good that we are like gonna get to see this play out for a year. Let the players, like, you know,
The heavy hitters work
tussle,
out.
tussle a bit and see how it shakes out.
Yeah,
But in the meantime, we can, keep, taking our steps and see how it goes, so.
excellent. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's all I just wanted to. bring
Okay.
in. And I'll send those things into Dina again. They probably got lost in
They
Shuffle.
might have gotten lost in the shuffle, so that'd be great, and she'll be back on Monday, so
the. Okay. Sounds
that'd
good.
be super, and our next meeting is 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away, okay.
Meeting,
We're meeting on the 18th, I
okay,
believe,
so I'm gonna
and
miss
you're
out.
gonna be gone. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and I guess I was negligent. We have Jordan with us today as Dina's replacement. She's her assistant, and she does a great job, so we're happy to have her with us. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, James, thank you.
Get
Thanks
back
for
to work.
taking that, yes.
Have a good
Jobs are
day.
like that, you too.
Take care, James.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Okay, next up we have the approval of the April 20th, 23 minutes. Noted that some grammatical or wordsmithing changes came in last night.
Oh, yeah, I sent that to Dina, hopefully.
It didn't get through.
For the
Yeah.
minutes, yeah, just little, stylistic stuff, I think.
Yep. So with those changes, I will move the minutes.
No, second,
All those in favor say aye,
Ben,
David, aye.
and Judy aye. Thank you. Okay. So, we are now going to review the manifest. Folks have hopefully had a chance to look through it. It's $61,725.44. What do we wish to do with that?
I'll move it.
I'll
Thank you, Ben.
second.
Thank you, David. All those in favor say aye.
Ben,
David, aye.
And Judy, aye. And you can shoot it that
This
way.
way, all right. The first.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, remember that call, give that to Ben.
Here.
Oh, I was a
Good, you
sharp pen.
got the back.
Perfect.
Okay. Very good. We have 2 agreements that are in front of us now. Each of them we're going to want to make a small change to. We have a Life Safety Institute agreement. I know town council has looked at it. We have a possible addition under item number 4, which has sub-items A through G. We would like to add an H, which reads, the Life Safety Institute LLC shall perform its obligations under this agreement in a reasonably professional manner and abstain from taking any action or actions that would reasonably be expected to or that do in fact result in reputational or other harm to the service or the town. would propose is if we vote to add that, we could sign this agreement and we could handwrite in that, or depending on how Ben and David feel, we could send it back to have that added and then sign it at a future time.
Dina had mentioned that the first option you said might be.
Possible.
Right.
Okay,
We should
If you
just
didn't
save
feel
that provision,
comfortable.
and we should put it in everything we sign.
Yep.
Right.
yeah, I made a note that we should send that to council and ask them to make sure we put that in every provision. How do we feel about that, Ben? You see it's page 2, item number 4 at the top, and it goes down through.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind adding it, I'm just getting, wrapping around what it all is.
Yeah.
Did we get an explanation of what the Life Safety Institute is?
I think it is having to do with the fire department and the fast squad and the training that they are undertaking, and I believe it covers people during that training, if they're in a hospital setting or if they're on a scene.
It counts towards some training hours. They still have to do other requirements to get their certification or whatever it's called, but this would make, so if they're on a call, that it would count towards training hours.
And it covers them
Right.
to be able to do that.
Right.
So it's kind of insurance and,
Yeah.
Hoover.
get it added and then we can sign it.
Do you want it added before we sign it?
Yeah.
Okay,
We can just write it in and sign it, and, we can do it.
However you wanna do it.
Yeah.
do you wanna do it? Do you wanna do it? We'll give you the,
Well, I don't care, but I won't be at the next meeting, so
Right.
you guys will have to sign it without me,
when do you leave town?
Saturday.
So, Dina's not back yet. Okay. Let's take a vote if we all are in agreement that we wanna add it. And if it gets added, we're comfortable signing, and then we can come in and sign, and if we don't catch it before you've left town, the
Yeah.
two of us will sign it.
Okay.
That would be, I would move that course of action. I would need a second for it.
I'll second.
Thank you, David. All those in favor, thank you, Ben, David,
David, aye.
and Judy. Okay, so we've approved it, subject to adding that paragraph number, I'm calling it number 4H, and we will sign after it's added. Okay. And then, now, do you want me to give this to you? You kept a copy of
Oh,
this,
yeah.
right, David?
Okay.
That's what we want.
Or I
added.
can make a copy too and give you this one back.
I sent it to Dina via
Oh, okay.
email, so.
Okay, good. Next, we have Catamount Solar Agreement.
Maybe I didn't.
Catamount Solar is for it's the construction and design agreement for the solar that's going on the library. And we do have their agreement, and with the agreement goes a $10,000 check. And this agreement is even longer than the last one, I love long agreements. But page 5, item number 14, talks about hazardous materials. And I don't wanna read the whole thing, but we want to insert, they want the contractor not to be liable or obligated until hazardous material, if it's discovered at the site, gets removed or rendered harmless. We're going to add 3 words, subject to Article 15, and Article 15 is an indemnification article.
Yeah, the point is that that Article 14 provides that they get paid additional, whatever additional costs or that they need if they have to deal with hazardous waste, but it doesn't make a distinction between hazardous waste that's on the site because of something the town or the library did, or hazardous waste that's on the site because Catamount Solar brought it to the site. And it didn't seem right to me that we would be paying for them to, like, you know, they bring a 55-gallon drum of some solvent and it gets punctured and leaks into the ground. We shouldn't be paying them to, and Article or Section 15 provides that
Here.
they would indemnify us for that kind of thing. But then if you
You
read
wanna-
Article 14 or Section 14 in isolation, you would say, oh, well, maybe the town's obligated to pay for that cleanup.
So we wanna tie those two together.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see that, Ben?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I will move the approval of the Catamount Solar agreement, which incidentally does include a bond to the town, to modify it, item number 14 to include the word subject to number 15, and I've given a copy to Jordan which shows where that should be inserted. And we'll do the same thing. We will let these folks know what we've done, and if they approve it, we'll either handwrite it in, probably the fastest, and then we can all sign it. Otherwise, it's not gonna be valid. Is that okay? Is that okay with you, David? Yeah. And Ben said he approves, so I'm putting him down as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Ben,
David, aye.
And Judy, aye. Okay. Poor Dina, she's gonna be sorry she's gone. Okay. Where did my, here we go. Life safety we've done, Catamount we've done, okay, this is the biggie. Consideration of the picnic table and Adirondack chairs on the Lyme Common, gift of the Lyme Foundation. I would say that I am definitely in favor of the chairs. I kind of like the 3 colors, 2 chairs of each color, somewhat scattered in groupings of 2 around the common. I have a question about storage. Winter storage could be an issue. I think we need to think through. I don't think we're gonna, I know that these are, they can withstand snow and rain and ice and water. I'm not sure we're gonna wanna leave them on the common all winter, so I'm going to perhaps ask the folks at the Lyme Foundation to consider where they're gonna go in the wintertime. And personally, do not think at this point a picnic table is a good idea, solely because I think its location will be problematic. But in the future, if these chairs work out and we were maybe to get 3 or 4 picnic tables, I think that might be something. But this year, for a start, my personal preference would be just the chairs. Ben, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm not, the table doesn't bother me. It wasn't gonna be a traditional picnic table, it
No,
was
it's
gonna be a table.
Octagon with the benches
Octagon table,
attached.
benches. And that, I'd say that allow people to use their computers, but then again, we don't have any service down there.
At the moment, it's a little sketchy.
I thought they installed wireless.
I wanna protest, I think the wireless is pretty good these days, but it has been spotty in the
We've been
past. I
getting
haven't
some
checked recently.
Intermittent complaints
Okay,
about it not being available.
so you do get those complaints? Okay,
Well,
Well,
not me personally.
not you, but